The natural world is a vast, ever-changing theatre where the land, the sky, and the water form a stage of breathtaking complexity and scale. Here, every mountain peak, every dense forest, every sunlit savanna, and every shadowed ocean trench is a set piece in a drama that has unfolded for millions of years. This is a realm of astonishing beauty, where the first rays of sunlight ignite the world in gold, and the air is thick with the scent of earth and growing things. Yet beneath this serene surface, every moment is shaped by the relentless demands of survival. Across every continent and in every ocean, a continuous, unscripted drama unfolds. From the humid depths of the rainforest to the wind-swept peaks of the highest mountains, from the sun-baked deserts to the icy polar seas, life adapts, endures, and thrives. This is the story of survival, where every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, is both actor and audience in a play with no script and no guarantees. For the animals that inhabit this world, every day is a test of endurance, resourcefulness, and instinct. They must traverse treacherous landscapes, from parched deserts where water is a distant memory to tangled forests where danger lurks in every shadow. The search for food and water is a daily struggle. Some must chase down swift prey across open plains, while others lie in wait, perfectly still, for the right moment to strike. In the rivers, bears snatch leaping salmon from the current, while in the sky, raptors scan the ground for the slightest movement. Rest is a rare luxury, often snatched in brief moments of safety. Every animal must find or create a refuge, a den, a burrow, a nest, or a hidden hollow, where it can recover from the day's exertions and prepare for the next challenge. The drive to nurture the next generation is universal. Mothers and fathers devote themselves to the care of their young, teaching them the skills they will need to survive: how to hunt, how to hide, how to recognize friend from foe. Vigilance is constant. Danger can come from above, below, or within the very group itself. A single lapse in attention can mean the difference between life and death. This is not a world of cruelty, but of necessity. Every creature, from the tiniest insect to the apex predator, is bound together in a web of interdependence. Each plays a role, some as hunters, some as prey, some as caretakers of the land and water. Over countless generations, animals have evolved remarkable adaptations. Some wield powerful jaws or venomous fangs, others possess armor, camouflage, or the ability to change color in an instant. Each adaptation is a solution honed by time to the challenges of survival. Some are built for speed, able to outrun or outmaneuver their enemies in a blur of motion. Whether on land, in the air, or beneath the waves, these creatures rely on split-second timing and explosive energy. Others are masters of disguise, blending seamlessly into their surroundings. Their survival depends on remaining unseen, whether to avoid predators or to ambush unsuspecting prey. Some possess immense strength, able to defend themselves and their families against formidable threats. In moments of crisis, these animals become living fortresses, standing their ground with unwavering resolve. Intelligence is another path to survival. Some animals use tools, solve complex problems, or communicate with astonishing sophistication. Their minds are as sharp as their claws or teeth, allowing them to adapt to changing circumstances and outwit their rivals. These skills are not learned in isolation. They are passed down through generations, taught by example and refined by experience. The wisdom of survival is a legacy, etched into muscle, memory, and instinct. The wild is a place of constant tension and suspense. Every encounter between predator and prey is a contest of wits, strength, and luck, a moment where the outcome is never certain. Hunters move with patience and precision, their senses attuned to the slightest sound or movement. Prey animals, in turn, are ever alert, relying on speed, agility, and the safety of numbers to survive. The journey from birth to independence is fraught with peril. Young animals must learn quickly, taking their first uncertain steps into a world filled with both wonder and danger. Cooperation is often the key to survival. Many animals live and work in groups, combining their strengths and sharing the risks. Together they can achieve what would be impossible alone, defending territory, raising young, or bringing down formidable prey. These moments of drama and compassion reveal the depth and complexity of animal societies. They are reminders of the bonds that unite families and the courage that emerges in times of crisis. The wild is a place of raw power and delicate balance. Every life is shaped by the forces of nature, storms, droughts, floods, and fires, that can transform the landscape in an instant and test the limits of endurance. As we journey across the globe, we witness the astonishing diversity of habitats, each with its own challenges, each home to creatures uniquely adapted to survive there. From the searing heat of the desert to the crushing cold of the polar night, life finds a way. We see animals confronting obstacles with determination and ingenuity. Whether crossing raging rivers, scaling cliffs, or outsmarting rivals, each challenge is met with a unique blend of instinct and innovation. Battles are fought with breathtaking speed and precision. Hunts unfold in a blur of motion, and escapes are made by the narrowest of margins. Every encounter is a test of skill, strength, and willpower. Yet the wild is not only a place of struggle, it is also a place of joy, play, and celebration. After the rains, animals gather to drink and play. Young ones chase each other through the grass, and the air is filled with the sounds of life renewed. These stories, woven together, reveal the extraordinary resilience and diversity of the animal kingdom. On this grand stage, every hour of every day, the drama of survival continues, unseen by most but vital to the balance of life on Earth. On the tropical shores of Brazil, as the first light of dawn glimmers across the water, a daily drama unfolds with the slow retreat of the tide. Each morning, the ocean's withdrawal exposes a labyrinth of slick, jagged rocks, their surfaces glistening with moisture and draped in a living carpet of emerald seaweed. The receding water reveals a banquet, thick mats of seaweed clinging to the rocks, glistening in the early sun. This is a fleeting opportunity, and the first to seize it are the Sally Lightfoot crabs. For thousands of these agile crabs, the exposed rocks become a bustling dining hall. They emerge in waves, their shells flashing red and gold as they scuttle toward the feast. But the journey to the seaweed is fraught with peril. Each crab must navigate a treacherous maze of uneven stones, slippery with algae and riddled with hidden crevices. Leaving the safety of their high-ground refuges, the crabs must cross open expanses, exposed to the elements and to the gaze of lurking predators. Every step is calculated, every pause a moment to scan for danger. The rocky landscape is a gauntlet of hazards. Pools of seawater, left behind by the tide, form isolated pockets between the stones, each one a potential trap. These tide pools are not empty. Beneath their glassy surfaces, shadows shift and wait. Predators have learned to use the pools as natural ambush sites, remaining motionless for hours, their bodies perfectly camouflaged against the rocks. The most formidable of these hunters is the chain moray eel. With only its head protruding from a crevice, the eel's eyes track every movement above. These eels are masters of patience and precision. Their bodies remain hidden, their senses attuned to the slightest vibration on the rocks above. Their jaws are armed not with razor-sharp teeth, but with blunt, crushing molars, perfectly evolved to crack the armored shells of crabs in a single, decisive bite. The eel's strategy is simple: remain invisible, wait for a crab to venture too close, then strike with lightning speed. The element of surprise is its greatest weapon. As the crabs approach the pools, they must decide, leap across in a single bound or risk skirting the edge. Each choice carries risk, and the eels are ready for any mistake. But the moray eel is not the only threat. Hidden in the cracks, an octopus waits, its body pressed flat against the stone, skin shifting colors to match its surroundings. With a sudden burst, it can extend a tentacle to snatch a crab in an instant. The crab's only defense is speed and agility. They leap from rock to rock, their legs splayed wide for balance, every muscle tensed for a sudden escape. The race is relentless, the pressure mounting as the tide begins to turn. A single crab pauses, antennae quivering, eyes fixed on the gap ahead. It calculates the distance, the angle, the risk of a waiting predator below. Unseen, a moray eel hovers just beneath the surface, its gaze locked on the crab's every move, ready to lunge at the slightest misstep. With a burst of energy, the crab leaps, a streak of color against the black stone, its legs splayed for maximum reach. It lands, claws scraping for purchase, and darts away, narrowly escaping the jaws below. But not all are so fortunate. Another crab misjudges the leap, its legs slipping on the wet stone, tumbling into the water below. In a flash, the eel surges forward, jaws snapping shut around the struggling crab. The water churns for a moment, then falls still. The struggle is brief, the outcome inevitable. The eel's crushing bite ends the contest in seconds. All that remains are scattered shells and silent pools, a stark reminder of the cost of survival here. For those that succeed, the reward is immediate. The crabs tear into the seaweed, their mandibles working furiously, each mouthful vital for their energy reserves. Yet even as they feed, their eyes remain alert, legs poised to spring away at the first sign of movement. The threat never truly disappears. As the tide begins to rise, the crabs must abandon their meal and retrace their perilous path. The return journey is just as dangerous, the rocks now slicker, the pools deeper, and the predators just as hungry. The eels and octopuses remain vigilant, repositioning themselves along the crab's route, anticipating the desperate dash for safety. They know the crabs must return, and every retreating step is shadowed by the threat of ambush. The entire shoreline becomes a stage for this relentless contest. Crabs dashing in both directions, predators shifting positions, the tide dictating the tempo of every move. Here, every action is a calculated risk, every meal a gamble. The rhythm of the ocean shapes every life, forging a world where survival depends on speed, strategy, and the constant awareness that danger is never more than a heartbeat away. In the relentless, sun-scorched heart of the Nevada desert, every living creature is locked in a daily battle for survival. Here, water is the rarest treasure, and the struggle to claim it shapes the fate of all who dwell in this unforgiving land. As July's merciless heat bears down, the last remaining waterholes shrink, their muddy edges ringed with the tracks of desperate animals. The air shimmers with heat, and the ground is baked to a brittle crust, forcing wildlife to adapt or perish. Herds of wild mustangs, their coats dusted with sand, approach the waterhole with caution. They are not alone. Jackrabbits, tortoises, and even wary coyotes linger nearby, each waiting for a chance to drink. The water's edge is fiercely guarded by a dominant stallion, his muscles tense and eyes scanning for threats. His vigilance is not just for rival horses, but for opportunistic predators and scavengers drawn by the promise of life-sustaining moisture. By controlling the water, the stallion ensures the survival of his mares and foals. He positions himself between his family and any threat, using his body as a living shield. The herd's safety depends on his strength and strategy. The stallion's dominance is constantly tested. Rivals lurk at the periphery, their nostrils flaring as they scent the precious water. Coyotes and vultures circle, waiting for weakness or conflict to provide an opportunity. On the horizon, a battered stallion emerges, his flanks marked by old wounds. He leads a small, exhausted herd, survivors of a dried-up oasis, driven by thirst and the hope of relief. The journey has been brutal, 15 kilometers across shifting sands, past lurking predators, and under the relentless sun. Every step is a test of endurance, and only the strongest reach the waterhole. The newcomer halts, sizing up the white stallion who guards the water. Instinct and experience tell him there will be no negotiation, only confrontation. the two stallions square off, each reading the other's intent through posture and movement. In the wild, dominance is asserted not with words, but with raw physical presence. The challenge is silent but unmistakable, a rigid stance, a piercing glare, the tension of bodies coiled to strike. The herd senses the impending violence and withdraws, instinctively seeking safety. The air thickens with anticipation. Even the scavengers pause, knowing that the outcome of this battle will ripple through the ecosystem. The clash is sudden and violent. The stallions rear and lunge, their hooves slicing the air, teeth snapping for purchase. Each move is calculated, aimed at disabling, not just intimidating. They grapple with primal ferocity, muscles rippling beneath sweat-soaked hides. Kicks are aimed at legs and ribs, bites at the neck and face, each tactic honed by generations of survival. Dust explodes around them, obscuring the violence. The sounds of battle, shrieks, grunts, the thunder of hooves, echo across the barren plain, a signal to all that the balance of power is shifting. The risks are immense. A shattered jaw means starvation, a broken leg, certain death. Predators watch, ready to exploit any weakness. In this arena, defeat is not just humiliation, it is a sentence. The duel becomes a test of endurance and cunning. Each stallion feints and circles, probing for an opening, conserving energy for a decisive strike. Survival depends on reading the opponent and exploiting the smallest mistake. The families watch, their fate hanging in the balance. The victor will claim not just water, but the right to lead and protect. The loser risks exile, injury, or worse. At last, a decisive blow lands. The white stallion, battered and spent, yields ground. His retreat is slow, dignity stripped by exhaustion and pain. In moments, he loses everything: access to water, the loyalty of his herd, and his place in the desert's hierarchy. The defeated must now navigate a landscape where the weak are swiftly targeted. The victorious stallion, though bloodied, leads his herd to the water's edge. The mares and foals drink deeply, their survival secured for another day. The new leader's reward is not just water, but the loyalty of a larger family. His victory ensures the genetic strength of his line and the herd's unity in the face of future threats. This brutal contest is echoed across the desert as every species, prey and predator alike, adapts, strategizes, and fights for survival. Each clash, each victory, and each defeat shapes the delicate balance of this harsh ecosystem. In the wild, leadership is not given. It is seized through strength, strategy, and the relentless will to survive. The desert remembers only the victors, and the cycle of struggle continues beneath the burning sun. In the vast, frozen expanse of northern Canada, a formidable predator moves with purpose and precision: the grey wolf. Here, a pack of 25 grey wolves must rely on their collective strength and intelligence to hunt the continent's largest land animal, the wood bison. A single wolf, even at its strongest, is no match for a full-grown bison, which can weigh nearly a ton and wields sharp, curving horns as formidable weapons. The wolves' true advantage lies in their unity. Every hunt is a display of intricate social structure and communication. The pack is led by an alpha pair, whose leadership is respected and rarely challenged. Subordinate wolves take their cues from these leaders, each member knowing its role. Before the hunt, the wolves gather, reinforcing bonds through nuzzling and body language, synchronizing their intentions. The hunt begins with careful observation. The wolves remain downwind, using their keen sense of smell to assess the herd's condition and wind direction. They fan out, encircling the herd, moving with fluid, almost silent steps. The pack's formation is deliberate: flankers on the sides, scouts at the rear, and the alphas directing from the front. The bison sense danger. Their heads rise, nostrils flaring, bodies tensing. The wolves' presence alone is enough to trigger anxiety and test the herd's resolve. The bison respond by bunching together, placing calves and weaker members at the center. forming a living fortress of muscle and horns. The wolves' strategy is to probe for weakness. They feint and dart, testing the herd's defenses, looking for any sign of injury, fatigue, or hesitation. The bison tighten their formation, hooves stamping, horns lowered. The wolves' patience is tested, but they do not rush. Individual wolves take turns lunging at the herd's edge, attempting to startle a bison into breaking ranks. Each move is calculated, never reckless. Tension mounts. The bison begin to shift, some stepping back, others turning. The wolves sense the herd's cohesion weakening. Suddenly, the herd breaks. A stampede erupts, snow flying as massive bodies surge forward. The wolves spring into action, accelerating with explosive speed. The pack splits, some driving the herd, others flanking to isolate stragglers. In the chaos, the wolves communicate with yips and glances, adjusting their positions, never losing sight of their quarry. They scan for the vulnerable, a young calf, an injured adult, or an elder lagging behind. The pack's endurance is unmatched, able to run for miles without tiring. A young bison falters, struggling to keep pace. Instantly, the wolves shift focus, tightening their formation around the isolated animal. The gap widens. The wolves use their numbers to block the calf's escape, cutting off any route back to the safety of the herd. The pack's discipline is absolute. Each wolf knows when to press, when to hold back, and when to close in. The lead wolves surge ahead, intercepting the calf's path, while others circle to prevent escape. The rest of the pack converges, tightening the noose. The bison, exhausted and alone, makes a final stand. The chase becomes a grueling test of stamina. Wolves take turns leading the pursuit, allowing others to recover, ensuring relentless pressure. At last, the wolves close in from all sides. Working in perfect harmony, they bring the young bison down with minimal risk to themselves. The pack's success is a result of discipline, communication, and the ability to adapt strategies in real time. The kill sustains the entire pack for days. Each member, from the alphas to the lowest-ranking wolf, shares in the reward, reinforcing the bonds that make such feats possible. In this frozen wilderness, the wolves' survival depends on their unity, strategy, and the ever-evolving dance between predator and prey. A testament to the power of cooperation and the relentless drive of nature. The open ocean stretches endlessly, a shimmering blue expanse that appears tranquil and empty from above. Yet, beneath this calm surface, a world of relentless struggle and astonishing cooperation unfolds. Here, survival depends on both cunning and collaboration, as predators and prey are locked in a perpetual contest shaped by the ocean's ever-changing currents and light. Off the coast of South Africa, the annual sardine run is triggered by cold, nutrient-rich currents that sweep northward, drawing billions of sardines into a narrow corridor along the shoreline. The sardines gather in immense shoals, their bodies flashing silver as they move in perfect synchrony, a living shield against the dangers that lurk in the blue. Their only defense is unity. By moving as one, they confuse would-be attackers, making it nearly impossible for a single predator to target an individual. A lone predator, whether shark or dolphin, finds itself thwarted by the shifting, swirling mass. The shoal splits and reforms, evading capture with every coordinated turn. But the ocean's hunters are quick to adapt. When predators join forces, the sardines' greatest strength becomes their undoing. The shoal is surrounded, hemmed in from every direction. The first to strike are often the sea lions. Agile and relentless, sea lions slice through the water, their streamlined bodies allowing them to dart and twist with astonishing speed. They attempt to break the shoal, but the sardines' unity holds. The mass shifts and compresses, making it difficult for the sea lions to single out prey. The commotion does not go unnoticed. Other predators, ever watchful, are drawn by the disturbance. The frantic movements of the sea lions act as a beacon, signaling a feast in progress to all nearby hunters. From the depths, powerful tuna surge upward, their muscular bodies built for explosive speed. They strike from below, targeting the underbelly of the shoal where the sardines are most vulnerable. Overhead, Cape gannets circle with keen eyes, watching for the telltale flashes of silver that betray the sardines' position. With wings folded tight, they become living arrows, plunging from the sky at breakneck speeds, piercing the water to snatch fish in their beaks. The water erupts into chaos. Predators from above and below converge, each exploiting the confusion to snatch their share. The arrival of new hunters shifts the balance, intensifying the frenzy. Copper sharks, drawn by the scent of blood and the vibrations of the hunt, slip into the fray. Their powerful bodies carve through the shoal, jaws snapping at anything within reach. Now the sardines are beset on all sides. Predators coordinate their attacks, herding the shoal into an ever-tightening ball. Sea lions and tuna drive the sardines from below, and the flanks, pushing them inexorably toward the surface, where escape is impossible. From above, gannets rain down, their dives perfectly timed to exploit the sardines' panic. Trapped at the surface, the sardines have nowhere left to run. The water churns with the bodies of hunters and hunted. In this moment, species that would normally compete act in unspoken harmony. Each predator plays a role, their movements synchronized by instinct and opportunity. Every hunter benefits from the presence of the others. The sardines' defense has become their downfall, transformed into a dense, vulnerable bait ball. The feeding frenzy intensifies, with each predator exploiting the confusion to snatch as many sardines as possible. Suddenly a new presence is felt, a shadow from the deep. A bride's wail, immense and silent, glides upward through the chaos. With a single powerful surge, the whale opens its cavernous mouth, engulfing thousands of sardines in one sweeping motion. The whale capitalizes on the chaos, taking advantage of the predator's efforts to concentrate the sardines. In seconds, it consumes what would take smaller hunters hours to catch. As the whale departs, the remaining predators surge back in, eager to claim what is left. The cycle of attack and opportunity continues, each species adapting to the shifting dynamics of the hunt. In less than an hour, this extraordinary alliance of hunters can consume entire tons of sardines, leaving only shimmering scales drifting in the current. This is the ocean's coordinated attack, a breathtaking, brutal ballet of instinct and adaptation, where predators of every shape and size unite in a fleeting, spectacular alliance, and the drama of survival is written anew with every tide. In the wild, the most dramatic hunts are often not the work of a pack, but the solitary pursuit of a single, silent hunter. These masters of stealth, leopards, wildcats, and other lone predators, depend on patience, precision, and the art of remaining unseen. In the African grasslands, a leopardess slips into the deep shadows of an eroded gully, her dappled coat dissolving into the sunlit earth. Every muscle is taut, every movement calculated. She crouches low, her body pressed to the ground, eyes locked on her quarry. The art of stalking is a test of endurance, each second stretched by the tension of anticipation. Ahead, a herd of impala grazes, oblivious to the danger, but a vigilant male puku stands between predator and prey, his bulk and alertness a living barrier. The leopardess inches forward, each pawful measured, her breath shallow. A single misstep, a snapped twig, a rustle of grass could send the entire herd into a panicked flight. She glides through the grass, her form melting into the landscape. Her paws press softly into the earth, leaving barely a trace. At last she is in position, hidden, poised, and within striking distance of a young impala, its head lowered, unaware of the peril. In a heartbeat, the calm is shattered. The leopardess erupts from her cover, her body a blur of muscle and speed, accelerating to over 60 kilometers per hour in mere seconds. The impala, caught off guard, freezes for a split second, then bolts, its instincts triggered by the sudden rush of danger. Predator and prey race across the plain, the chase a contest of agility and raw speed. The leopard stretches out her claws, closing the gap with every stride. But the impala, in a desperate act of survival, twists mid-air, leaping away from the outstretched claws in a display of astonishing reflexes. The young antelope lands and sprints for the open plain, vanishing into safety. The leopard, spent from her explosive effort, halts, her quarry lost. In the aftermath, the hunter is left alone, her breathing heavy, her gaze fixed on the vanishing form of her prey. For the solitary hunter, every pursuit is a delicate balance between success and failure. Even the most flawless ambush can be undone by a moment of brilliance from the hunted. Now, the leopard must rest, her senses ever alert, waiting for the next opportunity. In the world of solitary hunters, patience and the art of surprise are the keys to survival. In the wild, survival often depends not on strength or speed alone, but on the remarkable power of teamwork. Across the animal kingdom, species have evolved sophisticated ways to cooperate, communicate, and achieve what would be impossible alone. In Kenya, a coalition of 3 male cheetahs demonstrates this perfectly. But they are not alone. Dolphins, wolves, ants, and wild dogs all rely on teamwork to thrive. A single cheetah is the fastest land animal on Earth, but it is built for speed, not power. Similarly, a lone wolf may struggle to bring down large prey, but together a pack can coordinate complex hunts. Cheetahs typically hunt smaller prey, like gazelles, while wolves use silent signals and vocalizations to encircle and exhaust much larger animals. These 3 cheetah brothers, however, have learned that by working together, they can take on much larger and more dangerous quarry. Dolphins, too, herd fish into tight balls, taking turns to feed. Their target today is one of the most formidable animals on the savannah, an ostrich. In the insect world, ants form living bridges and rafts, their bodies linked in perfect unison. The ostrich is more than twice the weight of a single cheetah and possesses a kick powerful enough to kill. African wild dogs, meanwhile, use high-pitched calls and body language to coordinate their relentless chases. Hunting such a dangerous animal requires a plan. Communication is key. Cheetahs use subtle body cues, dolphins employ clicks and whistles, and wolves rely on howls and tail positions. A solo cheetah would be easily fought off or seriously injured. Ants, on the other hand, follow chemical trails laid by scouts, ensuring the entire colony moves as one. The 3 brothers, however, use a coordinated strategy. Wild dogs split into groups, flanking their prey from multiple sides. They begin by fanning out, approaching the ostrich from different directions. Dolphins, too, drive fish toward the shore, trapping them for easy capture. This immediately confuses the bird. Prey animals often become disoriented when surrounded by multiple attackers, unable to focus on a single threat. It cannot keep its eyes on all 3 hunters at once. Fish, too, panic when encircled by dolphins, making them easier to catch. One brother acts as the decoy, drawing the ostrich's attention and powerful legs. Wolves often use a similar tactic, with one member distracting prey while others move in. While the bird is focused on this single threat, the other 2 cheetahs use the distraction to creep closer unseen from the sides and the rear. Wild dogs close in from all angles, leaving prey with nowhere to run. The plan unfolds with split-second timing. Ants, too, move as a single organism, overcoming obstacles through sheer numbers and coordination. As the ostrich lunges towards the decoy, one of the other brothers makes his move. In wolf packs, the signal to attack is often given by a subtle gesture or a single bark. He sprints in from the side, a blur of yellow and black. Dolphins accelerate through the water, taking advantage of the confusion in the fish school. The ostrich, caught off guard, turns to face this new threat, but it is too late. Prey animals often cannot react quickly enough to coordinated attacks. The 3rd cheetah launches its attack from behind. Wild dogs and wolves often deliver the final blow from the rear, where prey is most vulnerable. The bird is now surrounded and overwhelmed. In water, fish are similarly encircled and picked off one by one. One cheetah leaps onto its back, using its weight to pull the giant bird off balance. Wolves leap onto the backs of elk, using teamwork to bring down animals much larger than themselves. The others move in to help secure the kill. Wild dogs and wolves share the spoils, each member benefiting from the group's success. The struggle is intense, but the outcome was decided by their clever tactics. Dolphins, after a successful hunt, share the catch among the pod. This is a hunt that would be impossible for a single cheetah to accomplish. Lone wolves and solitary dolphins rarely succeed against large or agile prey. By combining their speed with a smart, coordinated plan, the three brothers have successfully brought down a meal that will feed them for a considerable time. Ants, too, share food with the entire colony, ensuring survival for all. Their success is not just a testament to their speed, but to their intelligence and the strong social bond that allows them to trust each other in a dangerous situation. After the hunt, many animals reinforce bonds through grooming, play, or close contact. It is a brilliant example of how, in the animal world, three minds and three sets of claws working together are far more effective than one working alone. Whether on the plains, in the forest, or beneath the waves, teamwork is nature's ultimate strategy for survival and success. In the wild, survival is not reserved for the mighty. For the smallest creatures, every day is a test of ingenuity, resilience, and adaptation. These tiny heroes face epic challenges, relying on extraordinary skills and instincts to outwit predators and endure the harshest environments. On a remote volcanic shore, a baby marine iguana cracks open its shell. Its first breath is drawn in a world fraught with danger where every second counts. Instinct propels it from the nest, urging it to dash across the open sand toward the sanctuary of jagged rocks where the adult colony awaits. The beach is a perilous expanse, a gauntlet patrolled by silent, patient hunters. Racer snakes, perfectly camouflaged, have evolved to exploit this moment of vulnerability. Their slender bodies blend seamlessly with the sand and stone. Dozens lie in ambush, their senses attuned to the faintest tremor, forming a living web of danger. The hatchling emerges, sunlight glinting off its scales. It halts, motionless, relying on its innate ability to freeze and avoid detection. All around, snakes glide silently, their forked tongues sampling the air for the scent of prey. Though their vision is limited, their acute sensitivity to movement makes them formidable hunters. The iguana's only defense is absolute stillness, a remarkable adaptation that can mean the difference between life and death. A snake glides past, oblivious to the tiny statue mere centimeters away. For now, the hatchling's strategy holds. But time is not on its side. The urge to reach safety grows stronger with every heartbeat. With a sudden burst, the iguana launches itself across the sand, its limbs a blur of speed and determination. Instantly, a snake detects the movement and surges forward, the chase ignited. The hatchling's powerful legs, evolved for explosive sprints, propel it across the treacherous terrain. The commotion draws more predators. The beach erupts with movement as snakes converge from every direction. From the shadows, more serpents emerge, each one a new threat in this deadly arena. The hatchling is surrounded, the odds overwhelming, its fate seemingly sealed. In a blur of scales and sand, the tiny iguana is engulfed by a mass of writhing predators. Coils tighten, jaws snap, and the hatchling is pinned beneath a living net. For a moment, it appears that the relentless forces of nature have claimed another victim. The struggle seems hopeless, the hatchling's story destined to end before it truly begins. Yet, in the wild, even the smallest life can harbor astonishing reserves of strength. With a surge of adrenaline, the iguana twists and writhes, refusing to surrender. Against all odds, it forces its head free, leveraging its flexible spine and powerful tail. In a final, desperate effort, It bursts from the knot of snakes, launching itself toward freedom. The hatchling sprints, every muscle straining, driven by the primal will to survive. With a final leap, it scrambles up the rocks, narrowly evading a last, desperate strike. At last, it reaches the safety of the colony, its ordeal a testament to the power of adaptation and instinct. This newborn, barely minutes old, has overcome a gauntlet of predators through speed, stillness, and sheer determination. In the world of nature's drama, the smallest creatures often display the greatest courage, their unique adaptations and indomitable spirit allowing them to triumph against overwhelming odds. From the smallest iguana slipping through a tangle of snakes to the relentless pursuit of a wolf pack against a towering bison, the story of life is told in moments of tension, courage, and instinct. We have witnessed how survival demands a dazzling array of skills and strategies. It calls for the raw strength of a Mustang stallion, the silent patience of a leopard, and the lightning reflexes of a Sally Lightfoot crab. Each animal is perfectly adapted to its own world, equipped with the tools to hunt, defend, and endure. These are not random acts of violence, but vital threads in a complex, balanced web of life. Teamwork and intelligence often tip the scales of survival. Cheetah brothers synchronize their movements to bring down prey too large for one alone. A pod of killer whales works in unison to isolate a vulnerable calf. Across the world, sharks, birds, and sea lions converge in a frenzied alliance during the sardine run, forming a temporary coalition that is both chaotic and effective. These stories reveal that communication, strategy, and social bonds are as crucial as claws or fangs. They showcase a remarkable intelligence and cooperation within the animal kingdom. Nature is a stage of constant change and adaptation. On a riverbank in France, catfish have learned to ambush pigeons at the water's edge. In the desert, a golden mole glides beneath the sand, hunting by vibration alone. These are not ancient, unchanging behaviors. They are new solutions, crafted to meet new challenges and seize new opportunities. This ability to innovate and adapt is the secret to life's resilience. It ensures that the drama of survival is ever-changing, as new characters and unexpected plot twists emerge on nature's stage. Each dawn brings new stories, new challenges, and new triumphs. We are left in awe by the ingenuity and determination of life. We sense the tension of the hunt, the desperation of the escape, and the triumph of survival against all odds. These are the greatest stories on Earth, unfolding everywhere, every moment. They remind us that our planet is home to a spectacular, irreplaceable diversity of life, where every creature, from the tiniest insect to the largest mammal, plays a vital role in this ongoing, unfolding drama. In the frozen north, the Arctic fox adapts to shifting prey, while the polar bear faces the challenge of melting ice. In the rainforest, rare species like the jaguar must navigate a world of shrinking forests and new rivals. Beneath the waves, coral reef dwellers adjust to warming seas and changing currents, inventing new ways to survive. On the savanna, elephants travel vast distances in search of water, their journeys shaped by drought and shifting seasons. In the mountains, goats and snow leopards master the art of survival on sheer cliffs and in thin air. As night falls, owls and bats take to the skies, using senses beyond our own to hunt in darkness. Across the globe, animals confront new predators, shifting climates and unfamiliar rivals, adapting in real time to a changing world. The future will bring new challenges, rising temperatures, altered landscapes, and evolving threats. Yet the resilience and creativity of wildlife will continue to shape the next chapter of this epic story. This is a drama of breathtaking beauty, astonishing ingenuity, and the powerful, unyielding force of life itself, forever unfolding, forever renewed. As the sun dips below the horizon and darkness envelops the land, a hidden world awakens. The night belongs to the unseen, the unheard, and the extraordinary. In the cool hush beneath ancient trees, a slow, silent drama unfolds, one invisible to the waking world. A barn owl glides ghost-like above moonlit meadows, its wings perfectly engineered for silent flight. Below, a field mouse freezes, relying on stillness to avoid the owl's razor-sharp talons. Every rustle, every heartbeat is amplified in the quiet hours, where survival depends on stealth and acute senses. In the rainforest canopy, the kinkajou emerges from its leafy lair. Its prehensile tail curls around branches as it forages for sweet nectar, its golden eyes reflecting the starlight. Nearby, a jaguar prowls along shadowy riverbanks, its rosetted coat blending seamlessly with the dappled darkness, every movement patient and precise. Under the cover of night, the African savanna transforms. Lions, invisible during the day's glare, become bold and strategic hunters. Their low growls ripple through the grass, coordinating a silent ambush on an unsuspecting wildebeest herd. Meanwhile, bush babies leap effortlessly from branch to branch, their enormous eyes catching even the faintest glimmer of light. Beneath the surface of a moonlit pond, fireflies signal in bursts of green and gold, orchestrating a luminous dance to attract mates. In the desert, fennec foxes emerge from their burrows, their oversized ears tuned to the faintest movements of insects and rodents scurrying beneath the sand. Even in the deepest forests, the night brings a chorus of life. Frogs croak in rhythmic patterns, bats swoop in intricate aerial ballets, and the subtle shimmer of bioluminescent fungi lights the forest floor. Night is not merely an absence of light, it is a realm of adaptation, invention, and silent communication. In these hours, every creature is both hunter and hunted, every shadow a potential threat or opportunity. The nocturnal world is rich with strategies unseen by day, ultraviolet markings, infrared vision, and ultrasonic calls that paint a secret map of the darkness. As dawn approaches, these nighttime actors slip away, leaving only whispers and footprints in the dew. The secrets of the night remain, waiting for those who dare to look beyond the daylight and witness the wonders that thrive in darkness. Dawn creeps softly across the wetlands, its misty veil drifting over tangled reeds and shallow pools. Here, life is governed by a delicate balance, an intricate web spun between predator and prey, where every ripple tells a story of survival. A great blue heron stands motionless in the shallows, its piercing gaze fixed on the water below. With a lightning-fast strike, its dagger-like beak snaps up an unsuspecting frog. The frog's struggle sends gentle rings across the surface, alerting a nearby school of minnows. In an instant, the minnows dart for shelter among the roots of water lilies, their silvery bodies flashing in the morning light. Above, a marsh harrier glides silently, scanning for movement. Far below, a family of muskrats navigates the labyrinth of cattails, wary of the shadows overhead. One careless splash could betray their presence, drawing the raptor's sharp talons down from the sky. In the tangled undergrowth, a northern water snake moves with stealth, its patterned body winding through mud and moss. It senses the vibrations of a young frog, newly emerged from its tadpole stage, and strikes with precision. But danger is never far away. A snapping turtle lurks beneath floating vegetation, jaws poised to clamp down on anything that ventures too close. Tiny dragonfly larvae, hidden among submerged stems, are both hunters and hunted. They snatch passing mosquito larvae with extendable jaws, while keeping a wary eye for predatory fish cruising the murky depths. Above the water's surface, a chorus of insects rises, masking the soft plop of a kingfisher plunging headfirst for a fish. Every encounter is a test of timing and instinct. Prey must anticipate the moves of their hunters, while predators rely on patience and cunning. The boundaries between danger and safety shift with every moment, as tides rise and fall and the reeds sway in the breeze. In the wetlands, life is a continuous negotiation, each creature linked to the next by invisible threads of need and opportunity. Here, Survival is not just a solitary quest, but a finely tuned dance where every action echoes across the water's edge. In the farthest reaches of the earth, where winter reigns year-round and the landscape is sculpted by wind and ice, only the most resilient survive. Here, beneath the pale glow of a sun that barely rises, life has evolved remarkable strategies to endure the cold's relentless grip. A lone Arctic fox pads silently across the snow, its thick white coat blending seamlessly with the frozen world. Every step is calculated, energy conserved, each calorie precious in a land where food is scarce. Beneath the surface, a lemming tunnels through a labyrinth of snow, insulated from the biting wind. Its hidden world is a network of passages, carved out to find seeds and roots, safe from predators above. On the sea ice, a ringed seal surfaces through a narrow breathing hole, ever alert to the shadow of a polar bear. The bear, patient and silent, waits for hours, its massive paws spread wide to distribute its weight, preventing it from breaking through the ice. For both hunter and hunted, timing is everything. In the frigid waters, emperor penguins huddle in tightly packed colonies, sharing warmth in a living shield against the Antarctic chill. Each takes a turn on the outer edge, then rotates inward for relief. Beneath the ice, silver fish glide, their blood laced with natural antifreeze, a biochemical adaptation that keeps them moving even when temperatures plummet far below freezing. High above, a snowy owl glides in near silence, scanning the barren tundra for the slightest movement. Its keen vision pierces the twilight, and with a silent swoop, it seizes a vole exposed by shifting snowdrifts. In the icebound wilds, survival is a masterclass in adaptation. Thick fur, layered fat, and synchronized movements are all part of nature's toolkit. Here, every heartbeat is a triumph, a testament to the ingenuity of life, thriving against the odds where the cold is absolute and mercy is rare. Across continents and oceans, a silent signal stirs the wild. The world's great migrations are beginning, an ancient rhythm pulsing through the veins of countless creatures. In the golden African savanna, herds of wildebeest stretch to the horizon, hooves drumming the earth in a relentless search for fresh grass. Dust swirls as they surge forward, crossing rivers thick with crocodiles, each step a gamble between hunger and hazard. Above, the sky is alive with the beating wings of Arctic terns. These tiny travelers embark on a journey from the frozen north to the Antarctic Circle and back, a round trip of over 40,000 miles. They ride the winds, guided by instinct and the pull of distant seasons, tracing invisible lines across the globe. Beneath the ocean's surface, humpback whales glide through sapphire depths, their haunting songs echoing for miles. Each year they voyage from icy feeding grounds to warm tropical waters where new life begins. Calves swim in their mother's slipstreams, learning the ancient roots by heart. On the forest floor, armies of red crabs march in synchronized waves, their scarlet shells stark against the green canopy. Drawn by the moon and the tides, they migrate from jungle to shore, a living river flowing toward the sea to spawn the next generation. In the air, monarch butterflies flutter in clouds of orange and black. Their fragile wings carry them thousands of miles from northern fields to southern sanctuaries, guided by the sun's arc and the memory stored in their genes. Through peril, exhaustion, and the ever-changing world, these travelers press on. Every migration is a race against time, a journey fueled by hope and necessity. Their paths shape landscapes, connect ecosystems, and remind us that the heartbeat of the wild is always in motion, restless, resilient, and forever reaching for new horizons. In the theatre of survival, some of nature's most extraordinary performances are hidden in plain sight. Across the world's wild places, countless creatures have perfected the ancient arts of camouflage and mimicry, blurring the line between hunter and hunted. Beneath the fallen leaves of an autumn forest, a leaf-tailed gecko clings motionless to a branch. Its jagged silhouette, mottled with browns and greys, is indistinguishable from the bark. Only a flicker of its golden eye betrays its presence as it waits for unsuspecting prey to draw near. In coral reefs ablaze with color, the octopus reigns as a shape-shifting illusionist. Muscles and pigment cells ripple beneath its skin, conjuring the textures and hues of sand, rock, or swirling seaweed. With a single pulse, it vanishes into its surroundings, predator and prey alike deceived by its living magic. On the forest floor, a stick insect sways gently on a breeze, its long limbs and segmented body a perfect imitation of a twig. As shadows drift, it remains motionless, invisible to the sharp eyes of birds above. But mastery of disguise is not limited to blending in. Some creatures copy the warning colors or shapes of others, gaining protection through mimicry. The harmless milk snake coils in red, black, and yellow bands, echoing the deadly coral snake's warning. A fluttering moth, its wings painted with owl-like eye spots, startles would-be attackers in the night. On the riverbank, a young alligator drifts among floating leaves, its striping a mirror of sun-dappled water. In the dense undergrowth, a katydid's wings are veined and green, a flawless match to the leaves it calls home. Each adaptation is a silent contest of perception, an evolutionary arms race where seeing and not being seen can mean the difference between life and death. With every heartbeat, the wild world hides and reveals itself, its secrets woven into fur, feathers, scales, and skin. In this endless game of hide-and-seek, camouflage and mimicry are the ultimate survival strategies, proof that sometimes the greatest strength lies in the art of disappearing. Beyond the art of disguise, another power shapes the animal kingdom, a power born not from claws or camouflage, but from connection. Across the forests, savannas, and even the ocean depths, intricate societies unfold among the world's most intelligent creatures. In the treetops, a troop of chimpanzees forages together, their lives entwined by bonds of friendship, rivalry, and kinship. Grooming sessions are more than hygiene. They are gestures of trust and reconciliation, repairing rifts and forging alliances. Subtle glances, playful gestures, and warning calls weave a silent language, every interaction a thread in the social fabric. In the grasslands, elephants move in matriarchal herds, led by the wisdom of the eldest female. With low rumbles and gentle touches, they comfort distressed calves, remember ancient migration routes, and mourn their dead. Their empathy and memory echo across generations. Beneath the waves, pods of dolphins choreograph their movements with breathtaking precision. They communicate with clicks and whistles, coordinate hunts with synchronized leaps, and even give each other names, unique whistles that identify individuals within the group. Meerkats in the desert stand sentry while others forage, risking their safety for the collective good. Ravens solve puzzles together, sharing information and forming alliances that last a lifetime. Bonobos resolve conflicts with gestures of peace, their societies built on cooperation rather than aggression. From baboon troops to killer whale pods, these complex societies thrive on communication, collaboration, and emotion. Each relationship, each act of care or cunning reveals a mind attuned to others, a testament to the intelligence that blooms where animals live and learn together. In the wild, survival is rarely a solo endeavor. The greatest strength often lies in unity, in the bonds that hold a group together against every challenge. Here, in the intricate dance of social life, nature's most profound intelligence is revealed, not in isolation, but in connection. As the earth tilts and turns, the wild world pulses to a timeless rhythm, the changing of the seasons. With each shift in temperature and light, animals everywhere must adapt, their survival strategies as varied as the landscapes they inhabit. In the northern forests, the first snowflakes drift silently down. A red fox's coat thickens, its fur now a rich insulating mantle against the cold. Beneath the snow, voles carve secret tunnels, the frosty blanket above shielding them from predators and the bitter wind. Life slows for the brown bear, who feasts and fattens, then retreats into the hush of hibernation, its heartbeat slowing to a gentle thrum as winter claims the land. On the African savanna, the wet season arrives in a surge of thunder and rain. The parched earth erupts in green, drawing herds of wildebeest and zebra to the new grass. But with abundance comes risk. Lionesses lie in wait, their cubs hidden in the tall reeds, ready to take advantage of the season's bounty. In the wetlands, frogs emerge from the mud, their chorus ringing out into the damp night. Their brief window to breed is dictated by rainfall, a race against time before the waters recede and the sun returns with its relentless heat. Deep in the ocean, the great whales begin their epic migrations, guided by ancient instincts. They follow invisible currents and shifting temperatures, traversing thousands of miles to reach rich feeding grounds or safe, warm nurseries for their young. For the Arctic hare, the arrival of spring means a transformation. Its white winter coat molts to brown, blending seamlessly with thawing tundra. The days grow long, and the race to feed, breed, and raise young begins anew before the ice returns. Everywhere animals read the subtle cues, lengthening days, ripening fruits, a cool breeze, or the scent of rain on the wind. Some migrate, some hibernate, others change their very bodies to survive. For the wild, the cycle of seasons is both a challenge and a promise, an endless test of resilience, ingenuity, and the power to adapt. Here, in the ever-shifting theatre of nature, survival is a story written in the language of change. Each season brings new trials, and with them a renewed testament to the endurance of life. Beneath the sunlit waves, a hidden metropolis thrives, a coral reef bustling with colour and life. Here, every crevice and coral branch is both sanctuary and battleground, home to a teeming community of creatures bound together by survival. A pair of clownfish weave through the swaying tentacles of a sea anemone, their bodies immune to its stinging touch. In return for shelter, the clownfish defend their host from hungry intruders, a partnership forged by evolution's careful hand. Nearby, a moray eel peers from its lair, jaws agape, waiting for the careless fish to stray too close. Schools of dazzling parrotfish glide past, their beaks scraping at coral, breaking it down and excreting it as sand, shaping the very foundation of the reef. But danger lurks in the form of a lurking reef shark, its silhouette gliding silently above. The fish scatter in a flash of silver, vanishing into coral mazes and shadowy hollows. Camouflaged masters, like the octopus, melt into the background, skin shifting color and texture to blend seamlessly with rock and coral. When night falls, it emerges to hunt, tentacles probing for crabs and shrimp hidden in the cracks. Tiny cleaner wrasses set up cleaning stations, where larger fish queue up, mouths agape for a meticulous grooming. Parasites plucked away in a delicate dance of trust and necessity. Each interaction, each adaptation is a thread in the reef's vibrant tapestry. In this underwater city, survival is a matter of timing, teamwork, and transformation. Every creature, from the smallest shrimp to the silent shark, must carve out its place amidst the coral towers and shifting tides. The reef is alive, a living testament to the beauty and complexity of nature's design, where every day is a struggle and every life, no matter how small, plays a vital part in the symphony of survival. In the wild, every new life is a gamble, a fragile hope cast into a world of uncertainty. For young animals, the first year is a gauntlet of challenges, where each sunrise is both a promise and a test. On the open savanna, a newborn gazelle struggles to its feet, legs trembling beneath the weight of inexperience. Its mother nudges it gently, urging it to stand, a race against time, for in the tall grasses watchful eyes are never far. A shadow glides overhead, an eagle searching for the weak and unwary. The calf's first lesson is clear: move swiftly or become a memory. In the dense canopy of the rainforest, a spider monkey clings to its mother's fur, eyes wide as it navigates a maze of branches. Each jump is a leap of faith, each fall a lesson. The young monkey mimics the adults, learning which fruits are safe, which leaves are bitter, and how to recognize the warning calls that ripple through the treetops at the approach of a snake. Beneath the surface of a secluded pond, a brood of ducklings paddle after their mother, tiny bodies bobbing in her wake. The water teems with hidden dangers, lurking pike, snapping turtles, the sudden shadow of a heron's bill. Only the most vigilant and the luckiest will reach the safety of the reeds. In the Arctic, a polar bear cub tumbles across the snow, following its mother's massive paw prints. It learns to read the wind, to sniff for seals beneath the ice, to endure the biting cold. Hunger is a constant companion, and every lesson is paid for in effort and risk. Across the wild world, the young must adapt quickly, learning the patterns of predators, the secrets of shelter, the skills of foraging and flight. Some rely on camouflage, blending into the earth or leaves. Others band together, finding safety in numbers or shadowing older siblings who show the way. For every survivor, the journey is a crucible, shaped by hardship, sharpened by instinct, and guided by the silent wisdom of generations past. The first year is unforgiving, but those who endure emerge stronger, carrying the promise of life forward into the heart of the wild. In nature's grand story, every beginning is hard-won, and every young survivor is a testament to resilience, the next chapter in the endless drama of survival. Across the wild world, a hidden conversation unfolds, one not spoken in words, but in the language of sound. For animals, communication is survival, a code woven into every call, click, and rustle. In the dense rainforest, the haunting song of a howler monkey echoes through the mist, its low-pitched roar carrying for miles, marking territory and warning rivals to keep their distance. High in the canopy, songbirds trade melodies at dawn, each tune a signature, staking claim to nesting grounds or serenading potential mates. Beneath the waves, dolphins weave a tapestry of whistles and clicks, each pulse a message deciphered by their companions. With echolocation, they map the vast ocean, hunt in coordinated groups, and share urgent warnings of approaching danger. In the shadowy depths, the low-frequency rumbles of elephants travel through the earth itself, a secret dialogue spanning kilometers, calling distant family members to water or signaling a newborn's arrival. On the open plains, the alarm bark of a prairie dog ripples across the colony, each variation encoding the size, speed, and even species of approaching predators. In the night, a chorus of frogs rises from the wetlands, a symphony of croaks and trills, each voice competing for attention, each rhythm a testament to survival and reproduction. Even the smallest creatures join this chorus. Ants lay down chemical trails but also tap their bodies, sending vibrations through the ground to rally their kin. Moths flutter in darkness, their wings producing ultrasonic clicks to jam the sonar of hungry bats. Sound bridges the distance between individuals, binding families, forging alliances, and mediating conflict. It can summon help, signal distress, or maintain the fragile peace between predator and prey. For those who listen, the wild is alive with meaning, a living language, as intricate as it is ancient. In nature's endless dialogue, every call is a story, every response a thread in the fabric of survival. The voices of the wild speak not only to each other, but to the heart of life itself, a chorus that has echoed across the ages, shaping the destiny of all who dwell within the living world. Beneath the emerald canopy, life thrives in a world of shadows and shifting light, a realm where survival is a daily contest of wit, stealth, and adaptation. The rainforest teems with more species than any other ecosystem, each carving out a niche in the tangled web of life. In the dense undergrowth, a jaguar moves with silent precision, its rosette-patterned fur blurring perfectly into the dappled sunlight. It stalks patiently, listening for the faint rustle of a capybara or the flutter of startled birds above. Every step is measured, every muscle coiled for the explosive charge that will decide feast or famine. High above, red-eyed tree frogs cling to broad leaves, their vibrant colors hidden during the day and revealed only when danger approaches. A sudden flash of blue and orange startles a predator, giving the frog a precious second to leap away into the green abyss. Leafcutter ants march in endless columns, their jaws shearing through foliage many times their size. Below the surface, they tend to vast fungal gardens, a hidden world sustained by teamwork and unwavering discipline. Every ant knows its role. Some defend, some forage, some care for the young, each action synchronized in the service of the colony. A harpy eagle, ruler of the upper canopy, perches atop a towering ceiba tree. Its piercing gaze scans for movement, and with a rush of wings, it swoops to snatch a sloth from the branches. A rare but vital catch in a world where every meal must be earned. Tiny poison dart frogs, their skin a warning blaze of color, navigate the damp forest floor. Their toxins ward off would-be predators, a chemical shield forged by the insects they consume. Yet, amidst the danger, they nurture their young in water-filled bromeliads, ferrying each tadpole to safety on their backs. At dusk, the rainforest awakens anew. Bats flicker through the gloaming, hunting insects by echolocation. Night monkeys call through the gloom, claiming territory and seeking out ripe fruit in the darkness. Here, every leaf conceals a secret, every shadow hides a story. In the endless green labyrinth, survival is a dance of adaptation, camouflage, and cunning, a silent contest played out beneath the ancient, whispering trees.